Okay, what's up, everybody? It is your boy MM2K of Geeks, Cloud Dosage, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and I'm here with your co-host, Cold Blood Sensei. Cold Blood, how you doing today, man?
Great.
We got a special show for you guys because the Philemus Maximus Dominus is that how you say it? Philemus Maximus Dominus. He's spoken. He's come from his mighty thrones, ascended from the heavens to bless us peons and talk to us once again and tell us why, even though other companies are seeing success with console gaming, that it's dead, and that everybody must put down their joystick, grab their iPhone, and play games like Gen Z. he gave a masterful, rhetoric-filled speech again about why Xbox's shortcomings are everybody's shortcomings, and tried to re-explain why they're doing something totally different from what they've been telling you for the umpteenth time. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We want to thank you for joining us. This one is about the Xbox fanboys who were upset by Philemus Maximus Dominus. What we're going to do is we're going to look at what he was saying, and then we're going to ask the questions. Number one, is anything he's saying jive? Does some of it jive? Does most of it jive? Does none of it jive? And then we're going to ask about the console fanboys who are upset about all this. Do they even have a right to be upset? Like, is their anger warranted at this point? You know what I mean? But I wanted to chat with my brother Cold Blood Sensei. Cold Blood, man, what have you been gaming on this past week? I know you've been real busy, different shifts at work and stuff like that, but what you been gaming on this week?
Just Final Fantasy, bro.
Matter of fact,
getting all this side stuff done.
Yeah.
Before I continue with the main story.
You gotta do that in these RPGs, man. You gotta do it.
No, you don't. You can rush through the story, but why the fuck would you pay $70 for it?
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're not gonna get the full enjoyment out of it if you do it. If you do it like that, yeah, that's just pointless to me. But yeah, do us a huge favor, man. Let everybody know that we're live. Got a great show lined up for you, like I said. Philemus Maximus Dominus layeth the smackdown on the fanboys who thought that Satya Nadella was only talking about ABK. Remember that shit? I saw a funny exchange between some creator that does like salt mine content or whatever you want to call it, salt lick, that does that salt lick content, and somebody else that, you know, they were like, yeah, you cannot believe the propaganda of the Xbox machine. It was like Via's Vendetta type goofy shit. Don't believe the propaganda machine of the Xbox. Meanwhile, these mofos have been propagandizing the Xbox stuff forever and ever. Yeah, have they criticized them? Yeah, when they've been backed up against the wall and they couldn't justify and seem like that they have, you know, all of their senses. Oh yeah, of course they criticized them. Everybody's criticized Xbox. Even Phil criticizes what he does. But the important times are when the shit haven't hit the fan yet, but yet there's enough writing on the wall to tell you what's happening. Where do you stand then? Are you one of those that got the hand chart like Destin Legary that says, yeah, Xbox is going to surpass PlayStation? Are you one of those that propagandize the 40 frames deltas? Were you one of those that believed that Satya Nadella was only talking about Activision Blizzard when it's very clear that he was talking about the whole damn slate? That's when it matters. When you have no choice but to criticize Xbox in order to have some semblance of a credibility, of course it's easy to criticize it. Phil went on kind of funny and even talked about how his job might be at risk. They all do it at some point in time. But when the rhetoric is strong, it's bringing in the super chat and the clicks, and the fan base is at an all-time high, and they're like, yeah, die, pony, suck it, pony. Where do you stand then? That's where it matters. So you can come out with all this Via's Vendetta shit all you want, all these colorful pilots. You can do all that shit all you want. The internet doesn't die. The proof is in the pudding. Where have you been? You can try to contort Microsoft, people talking about Microsoft doing synergies because of consumption and absorption. You can try to conflate that and blur the lines between that and people being laid off because of market corrections, and try to make and expose people that way. You can do that all you want, but the proof is in the pudding. Where were you at when the 40 frames deltas were talked about, when the revelations of the APK deal were being talked about? What side were you on? Were you on the side that this was great? This was going to be great for Xbox, and it was really going to make Xbox outshine PlayStation? That's where it matters. You can caveat and cherry pick certain words, do all that shit all you want. But people ain't stupid. I gotta cut this shit out. Trying to rebrand and come with some Via's Vendetta shit. It's not gonna work, man. It's not gonna work. That said, thank you everybody for joining us. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all for y'all support. We try to keep it real here. We try to keep it real here. See y'all in the chat. We got Juiced in the house. He says, yo, bros, Cold Blood has an echo. He sounds like the voice of God. Cold Blood has an echo?
Should be fixed now.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't even notice one at all. Okay. All right. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get right into it. This is not a monologue because Cold Blood doesn't have 85 years for me to go over this. So he's gonna chime in whenever he feels like it. But here's the intro to what was going on. All right, so Phil did an interview with PolyGon, and there were some critical things that he said that really insinuate the pivot that they're trying to make, along with the fact that, trying to come up with new quote unquote excuses on why they had to do what they're doing. So let's talk about it. Okay, first and foremost, he talked about the Activision layoffs, why they happened. And again, this is where I say to those that are trying to rebrand and make it seem like that their nose is clean of it all and they're above it all, you can't, because you weren't distinguishing the difference of the different type of layoffs that were happening. Phil made it abundantly clear in this interview that they laid off the people at Activision because Xbox is a problem financially and Xbox had to be profitable. He says the layoffs of Activision was necessary as Xbox is a business that has to be profitable. I don't get a luxury of not having to run a profitable, growing business inside of Microsoft. I think Activision Blizzard, before they were absorbed, I think they had like 500 to 600 layoffs prior in the year. So under no shape, form, or fashion were they aligned to have a massive layoff, like to the likes of where Toys for Bob were going to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, were there going to be round 2 of cuts? Probably, but they would have been a lot less severe than what you saw. A lot of this was spillage from Xbox having poor numbers internally and them having redundancies now that they've absorbed somebody. As someone that works for a company that actually went through something like that, where you have an absorbing company that has internal bad numbers, they're not moving units, and then they absorb somebody else, they really got to get lean and mean. So again, I want people to keep that in mind. Why did we focus on this channel on redundancies that happen after acquisitions opposed to market corrections? Because there are 2 different types of layoffs. One is put upon you. You got to make it because the market is not doing great, meaning the sector that you're in isn't doing great. Another one is self-inflicted because you've absorbed a company and there's redundancies. You don't get to have 2 CFOs and all, you know what I'm saying? So there's overlap. And when you have a combination of a market correction and then people absorbing different companies and then there's redundancies, you're going to start seeing a situation where a lot of these people, because of the absorptions and the buyouts or whatever you want to call it, they'll never be able to get a job in gaming again. Because gaming effectively shrunk forever. It's one thing when we say the market is bad, so therefore we don't need as many people. But a year later, you could always come back and say, oh, we need more people. But in the case of when there's a corporate buyout or whatever, an acquisition, you'll never need to. That CFO position, that studio director position, it's gone forever. Because now it's become redundant because the positions that you needed to upkeep one company are gone. I mean, the positions that you needed to upkeep 2 companies are no longer needed because there's only one company now. It's just common sense and common math, which a lot of these people that are trying to deflect, I think they know better. I think they're just trying to take advantage of some of the sleepiness that you guys have in not doing basic math when it comes to this stuff. It says Cold Blood still sounds like he got an echo. Let me see something.
What?
Really? Okay, hold on. Let me check something because I don't think I. Oh shoot.
Oh yeah, I definitely have an echo.
Okay. Damn it. It's me the potato. Come on. Now I'm not. Jeez. All right, so hold on. Say something, Cold Blood.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Voice meter just crapped a bit on me. Okay, so you probably can hear yourself. There's nothing I can do right now, unfortunately. My bad, brother. But voice meter potato did something stupid. Because it's doing that thing that we discovered last week. But I muted him on my side. I mean, on the OBS side, so you guys shouldn't hear him twice. He's just gonna feed through my mic now. But yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's happening when it comes to the layoffs. Okay, the layoffs were induced not solely by market correction that everybody's going through, but it was induced because Microsoft made an action. They absorbed a company and they don't need as many people for one company as there once was with 2. That's not a market correction synergy. It's man-made. Okay. All right. Also, he talked about the console market not growing. He also states that the console market isn't growing and that Xbox's brand pivot to games on more platforms is a path to growth. I will say every decision, Phil says, we make today and tomorrow is for the better of Xbox. Every decision we make is to make Xbox stronger in the long run. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to agree with every decision that we make, but it is fundamental for how we make decisions. This notion that Xbox can only be the one device that plugs into a television isn't something that we see in Gen Z research, because nothing else is like that for them. Some of them will have an iPhone, some will have an Android, but all the games and everything is the same. So for Xbox, our brand pivot as we attract and maintain relevance with a younger audience is Xbox is a place where I can find great games I want to. Okay. Then there's what he said to throw the typical red meat and speculative circle jerk out there for the most diehard Xbox fans. He put this out here. Now, mind you, the way it's being framed, it's like he brought it up, but PolyGon asked him. They're listening to this approach, and reasonably they'd say, well, when Phil Spencer's asked, would he consider stores like Epic on Xbox? He said, yes. This leads to a lot of technical questions, says Red Gaming Tech on Twitter, but also financial ones too, given hardware is sold for a loss. Yes, said Phil Spencer, considering our history as the Windows company, nobody would blink twice if I said, hey, when you're using a PC, you get to decide the type of experience you have by picking where to buy games. There's real value in that. Spencer believes that console players would benefit from that freedom too, and so would console makers like Microsoft. Spencer explained how in the past, console makers would typically subsidize the cost of expensive hardware, knowing that a portion of every dollar spent on games for the platform over the years would eventually make it back to the console maker. Then in time, the console maker would recoup the subsidy and hopefully more. Okay. So those are his thoughts on this, hold on, I gotta turn this shit off. Because these mofos and this DM sometimes act like they don't have families and they just go on and on. Okay, anyway, so that's what it is in regards to the whole PC store talk. It was something that PolyGon approached him about, and he said, yeah, of course, we're all open and shit. We're swingers when it comes to this. We're in an open relationship with gamers. My game is your game is my game. We're cooking all over the place. No, let me stop. So, with that being said, why are gamers angry about all this? Well, they claim they don't like the games everywhere approach, and they also don't trust the handheld approach. They want to be able to continue to go on GitHub and talk RDNA 3 and 4 and 5.9 or whatever it is. And so, yeah, them CUDA cores, they got more of the CUDA cores. That's why it's going to outdo. All that speculative talk, again, feeds their wallets. It gives them super chats, gets them ad revenue, gets them clicks. It doesn't matter if it's right. All this speculative talk, and you on the other end believe in this shit, is what feeds them. And they're all in a scramble trying to pivot what to do next, albeit they're trying to turn into V as Vendetta, albeit fucking God bless this dude, Cold Eastwood, attacking dead spouses and shit. Even pork rind post-ups out there. Yeah, my brother Tim Dog said. Now you want to be on Tim's side, when just the other day, when Tim was talking shit about what was that, Dune 2? He was like, oh man, F this about Dune 2. You thought it was a post about Xbox, and you had to come out of the woodwork and say, chill, Tim. You know what I'm saying? You had to brown nose Phil Spencer. Now you try to cha-cha slide your pork rind bathed ass over behind Tim and say, hey, my brother, y'all called my brother Tim Dog everything but the child of God. You Xbox dudes is funny. You're funny. Why are you funny? Because At the end of the day, it's all the revelations are coming clear. It was never about games with you guys. It was all about PlayStation hate. And now that Microsoft is officially pulling away everything in the arsenal that you could use to hate on PlayStation, now y'all scatter like roaches. My brother Tim, dog, y'all treated him like an albatross. Meanwhile, y'all always hating on him. We got the receipts. The level of denial that you guys are trying. It's sad to see the deterioration, the deterioration of any type of sensible logic and reasoning, any fathomable connecting of the dots, even spin, even an attempt to, it's sad because you're falling short of even that. So we know why you're angry. You're angry simply because Phil has officially neutered and diffused all of your anti-Sony hate. And trust me, I know, Porter Rock can tell you. I remember me talking to Porter Rock after I realized in the Xbox One generation that Xbox was done. And I started talking to Porter Rock about something, and he was like, me and him was debating on Twitter. And I was like, nah, you don't get to say, well, what is Xbox is doing, because we know Xbox is out of it. Xbox is the least common denominator. Now it's all about what's PlayStation doing? What is PlayStation doing? Like that. I tried that angle. I've been there, done that. I'm telling you right now, trying to be the foil simply to PlayStation when you have nothing to praise, just trying to sit there and lurk in the alleyways with fancy lights, trying to hate on, it's not going to work. Yeah, I'm gonna kick Xbox too, because how dare they ruin this shtick that I had. But I'm gonna hate on PlayStation. No, it's not gonna work. I tried it. Look, I was a bot extraordinaire too. I tried it, but I learned my lesson a long time ago. Move on. Find something else to do. All right. Here's our thoughts. And Cold Blooded, you can jump in at any time. Our thoughts are, I want to quote Derek of Tweaktown. Like, this is where we bypass all the fake justice warriors. Now for the gamer, you don't know what's happening. Now you need me here. V is for vendetta. No, wait, no. Get the fuck out of here. Go find something else to do. Make some fancy lights about. Now we're going to have the real gaming discussions with the real gamers. Derek Strickland of Tweaktown is somebody who does not at all hate on Xbox. He's a big time Xbox enthusiast. He loves Xbox. And I feel like because of his affinity for Xbox, that's why he's tasked with covering them, mainly for Tweaktown. I love Derek because even though I feel like sometimes his affinity for Xbox makes him too optimistic, and some of the things that he's like, he believes is going to happen. Even though he does that, and I don't, I question that. First and foremost, he separates when he's talking to you. He separates which items are items that he just believes are going to happen, things that he's hopeful that's going to happen. He makes it abundantly clear what is the hopeful, what is the speculative, what is the conjecture versus the actual facts. He is like one of the only few people that do that. I think Brad Sams, I like Brad Sams. He's good at that too. To to a degree. But I like Derek. Out of all of the enthusiasts that report on the Xbox side, I go with Derek Strickland all the time, and then Brad Sams. All right. Derek even said this, right? He says, I think after, and this is after the PolyGon interview and the revelations of all this shit that Phil said that he would like to see and the things they're trying to do and why they're doing it. Even Derek had this to say. And I want all you Xbox fanboys and super enthusiasts to stop biting your lip, stop tapping in your DMs and like, this MM2K, we gotta get this motherfucker MM2K. Just kill it. I'm just a small time, old ass YouTube content creator talking my shit. I want you to listen to Derek, because I've been where you've been. I've been with Xbox since the OG Xbox. I battled the Porter Rock. I battled the King Thrashes. I've been the Suck It Pony. I've been there. It's just that I noticed the trend sooner than you, and I got out of the eye of the hurricane just in time. Tried to tell y'all to do the same thing, but some of y'all were just stubborn. A lot of you, who I really don't have any respect for, just saw the low-hanging fruit of how profitable it was to all of a sudden switch it up and now become the Xbox guys. And y'all couldn't even imagine that the Xbox gravy train, as far as content creation was concerned, would be over this soon. You thought that, of course you knew in the back of your mind where things were headed. But you're like, man, we can milk this for, we got a long ass time to milk. We got a couple of generations to milk this shit, man. And then as it slowly dies out, we'll just gradually move over. I think you guys thought you had a much longer time than you did, and you're scrambling. That's why you're doing all the crazy shit that we're seeing now over the last few weeks, right? But let's forget all that. Let's put all that aside. Let's try to be gamers for a few moments, and let's just listen to what Derek Strickland from Tweaktown is saying. All right. He says, I think Xbox is trying to play 4D chess and strategize towards the future. I feel that this might be happening too much, and Xbox is looking a bit too far into the future with some things. It feels like Xbox is trying to shift too often in a bid to anticipate more profitability. There's so much that I don't know, and I don't want to pretend to know. And obviously the people calling the shots know better than I do. This is just my feeling based on the last few years of Xbox trends in news. All right. There goes your favorite game, Cold Blood, Redfall.
It was good the whole time.
So, in listening to Derek and checking out what he had to say, I feel like no truer words have been spoken. Clearly, this regime didn't know what it was doing, but wanted to change pace maybe too fast. And maybe too quickly. They thought that they can get things in the favor that make them feel comfortable, which is giving you more games, giving you more ways to play, not worrying so much about tip-top quality and taking those huge financial risks. But they wanted to do that too soon. Okay. I always tell the story about, the person that I work with who had to handle intricate job that I handle. Very, very, very intricate that I handle. And they were trying to train more people on it. And this job was based upon empty promises that we made to clients from our sales and marketing team, that when the chickens came home to roost, we had to produce, and nowhere in our systems were we able to do some of these things that the clients wanted us to do. So to make sure that we didn't have huge reputational risk and we lose potential new clientele that could have been beneficial to us, a lot of us had to sit down and figure out how can we create these things that they wanted. And we came up with a system, and I did spearhead that, won an award for it, all that stuff. The purpose of this story is not to pat myself on the back. That was decades ago. All right. So in trying to show people this new intricate system that really goes against everything that we do, I had just one person, very smart individual. She's, she had a lot of foresight and she was a trainer and all this other stuff, great project manager. But sometimes she got a little bit too antsy and wanting to change things instead of learning how things work now so you understand what you're changing. And I kept trying to tell her that and trying to show her the system because it was that critical that you understand this and you don't make mistakes. She didn't listen. And she was no longer with the company once she made a couple of critical mistakes. So all it took was a couple. She's no longer with the company. That's how sensitive this process is. I said all that to say this. I feel like Phil Spencer is guilty of the same quote unquote 4D chess that Derek Strickland talked about. They moved too soon. And a lot of it was spearheaded by Satya, so a lot of it he couldn't help. But I feel like that if Mike Ybarra was there instead of Phil, he would have been able to grant the things that would have made Satya happy and, again, not try to move too much too fast. What made Xbox popular was its hardcore appeal, its quality games, and the technology behind it. Those were the pillars of Xbox. The technology was hella reliable. Online infrastructure was great. The integration of apps and stuff like that, broadband, all that stuff that they brought to the table was fantastic, right? Hard drive, in a console, all that stuff, right? And they were always innovating on tech. They had some of the greatest games that just were not played before. Some of the greater experiences that originated on PC that just were not, they were too powerful for consoles until Xbox came about. And then Xbox wrapped that in a bow as we're the gamers machine, like the hardcore player, we're your machine, right? Phil wanted to skirt from all that too fast. I get it. You're looking at Gen Z and you're like, hey, there are some things that we're going to have to change when Gen Z becomes the average 30-year-old gamer. We got to tend to their needs. But here's what you got to understand. The age of the average gamer is the early 30s. The game, and that's just the way, early to mid 30s. That's just the way that it is. So until us boomers or whatever the hell they call us are out of the way and Gen Z is in their 30s, and then they're controlling the ship, you still got to cater to the people that are here. They are going to make and break your success. And I think Microsoft is just playing 4D chess too much and they're not paying attention to what's happening now. They're not taking it serious enough. And now the clock is ticking. It's becoming more and more critical that they find a way to find success. Yes, if you do find a way to present yourself on every single screen, because that's the way Gen Z wants to play, great. But you got to make it to that point. You're not making it to that point right now. Now you're trying everything. You're trying to implement things that are going to work in the future to maintain you now. And if you do that, you might not even make it to the future as a platform. Look, let's break this down some more. Activision layoffs, keeping Xbox profitable. It's important to understand why we don't want consolidation. I don't want consolidation. I prefer PlayStation as a console brand they have snatched my soul in 2024 as far as where I play until Dragon's Dogma 2 came out. Before we even did this stream, I played some Helldivers. You know, I love it just as much as I did before. Right? PlayStation snatched my soul 2024. I don't want them absorbing no companies. So if I don't want them absorbing companies, why the hell do you think that I would want Microsoft and Xbox, who doesn't respect the traditional throes of gaming, and they don't know how to properly transition gamers from the traditional throes in a timely way to the new era. They don't know how to apply the technology properly. You know what I'm saying? It's just missteps all the way around. Why would I want a company that's prone to that absorbing companies? I don't even want the companies that I like absorbing companies. So why would I want them to do it? And when it comes to consolidation, why I don't want nobody doing it is because it's a man-made purging of the gaming industry. Since EA started doing this, EA started this. So to be fair to Microsoft didn't start this, EA started this. They completely disrupted and dismantled BioWare. To where veterans were like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm out of here. If this is what gaming is going to become, this cookie cutter conveyor belt shit, where the art can't flow and we really can't innovate, I don't want to do this shit just to make publishers rich. I'm out. We already seen purging of critical game developers. That's why a lot of you guys are like, oh, a lot of these games just seem cookie cutter and redundant, because the innovative people left. They said, fuck this, we're out of here. So now you just got technically astute people, but the people that really create the art and that are, you know, that think outside of the box, most of them left. That's why you're getting a lot of cookie cutter shit. Reskinning of the same old ideas from a couple gens ago. We don't need more of that. We don't need the game industry to shrink anymore. There's been enough damage done to the people that makes games. So whenever you absorb a company, you automatically purge and cannibalize positions and purge talent away, possibly forever. So in that vein, we need to stop making market adjustment layoffs and redundancies due to acquisition layoffs. We need to stop painting a broad brush and making them seem like they're all the same. I saw content where somebody was trying to do that, and they took something that one content creator said and tried to say, see, look at what they're saying when it comes to Xbox, but when the PlayStation, they're saying, you know, it's cool with them. The person was talking about two totally different types of layoffs. It's different. They have different impact on gaming. Stop being a money-grubbing creator and be a gamer for once. Okay? Stop trying to contort the two because it makes great content for you. As far as the console market not growing, okay, they're maybe not growing that much in usership. Last time I checked, Nintendo and PlayStation were doing just fine. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. PlayStation is seeing profit margins, you know, slim significantly. But it's not in a way that is going to totally eradicate their vision. They're going to try some things. Some of it may suck and they're going to learn their lessons from the community. Some of it may be cool. Who knows? But they're not totally divesting or diverting from what makes PlayStation PlayStation. They're not talking like that, like how Xbox is. And again, I don't want to hear about profit margins. This is talk that's for someone that's invested in these companies. Fucking Spider-Man sold 10 million copies a couple of months out from launch. Just the rough math is over $700 million it made. It cost $310 million to make. It's a lot of fucking money it made. Even when you cut out how much it cost to make. PlayStation is fine. Leave the profit margins talk to the profit margin people who are in the market, because you clearly don't understand it. Y'all been doing the same shit since 2017. Oh, PlayStation, they look at their stock price, it's horrible. Then 2018 drops. Y'all ain't got nothing to say. 2019, look at stock price, it's horrible. They're closing down. They're not going to make it to 2020. Come on. Same old speculative pie in the sky bullshit that has always been. So even though the console market isn't growing in usership and users significantly, the revenue is doing just fine because PlayStation and Nintendo know how to make do with maybe even with the growth in users being flat. So that's not the problem. That's a problem that Xbox is using as an excuse, but it's not a problem for Nintendo and PlayStation. Nintendo and PlayStation are just fine with the flat growth in users, not revenue. Revenue is growing. The users has gone flat. They're doing fine there, and they're prepping for the future. This is what I don't understand. Y'all talk all this shit about how Xbox is moving into the future, and here they have a cloud streaming service that's better than Xbox. They have a games as a service title that's being indulged more than anything Xbox has seen in the last 10 years. Right? And if these motherfuckers open a PC store, and it'd be better than the Microsoft gaming store, my God, my God, my God. So stop. We even got Nintendo jumping into the foray with cloud gaming. So these two companies, Nintendo and PlayStation, can handle the traditional gaming route, still see significant success in it, and still plan for the future. The exact same thing that you're doing. It's just that you're more being overtly conversational about it. But PlayStation's cloud service is doing better than yours as far as what it can provide people. They're at 4K. Shit's phenomenal. Needs to get off of consoles only, but they said that's coming. What are you doing, Microsoft? You claim they claim you have something down the pike. Okay, it's a possibility. Let's see it. But we're hearing all these excuses while the people behind across the street are doing exactly what you're doing. They're just not advertising it as much as you are. The only difference is you got to put all your shit in these other platforms day and date. These other services or your competition across, or your former competition, they don't have to do that because their output is considered premium. If your output was considered premium, trust me, your shit wouldn't be in there day and day. It just wouldn't. Okay? PC stores on Xbox, or on a new Xbox. I think it's a cool notion. It brings me back to the old Steam box theory, which is a cool theory. I was all for seeing the Steam box succeed. And if Microsoft creates a handheld that with the AI and the machine learning, you can now play your games on like a handheld device, undocked, maybe at 1440p, 120, and then docked 4K 120 because of AI and machine learning, like if it competes with what NVIDIA GeForce Now does. Okay, that's a cool revelation that you're doing with this hardware. Do I think it's going to move the needle beyond what PlayStation is doing? I don't think so. Here, let's look at something real quick. I could be wrong. But how many Steam Decks are there? How many Steam Decks have been sold?
More than the Series X?
Let me see. Let's see here. So multiple million. Okay. Valve said it sold multiple millions of Steam Decks, and this is as of November 2023. What is multiple million? They didn't say tens of million. They said multiple millions. Doesn't mean that the Steam Deck isn't a success. It's a success for what it is. But I don't see, like, if you guys were showing me that these handhelds were selling 30, 40, 50 million, then I'd be like, oh shit. Yeah, man. Oh man, PlayStation might be in trouble. No, the traditional console gamer is not going to enjoy the tweaking and all the shit that's involved with PC gaming for the most part. They're not going to like it. So Phil speculating based off of a question that was posed to him from PolyGon. You guys getting all creamy knuckled and still, yeah, this is what's going to happen. You're setting yourselves up like Wile E. Coyote for that anvil to fall right on your head, for you to just stand on the spot that the road runner beep beep set for you. You're standing right on that X and you're just waiting for the anvil to fall on your head. Like, be smarter. But even opposite of that, let's just say if they do see some success with it, you know, and there is a market for it, like a viable market for it. Let me ask you this. First and foremost, is this thing going to be an open platform or a closed platform? Like, is it going to be a Windows machine? If it's going to be a Windows machine, then porting isn't going to be such an issue, but it's going to get pirated like a motherfucker. Because that's what they do. Right? And if it is going to be closed, okay, then you're trying to tell me that Epic and Steam are going to viably want to port their games to this shit? Like, if if Microsoft got to run off their own OS, they're gonna waste their time doing that. There's too many intangibles here. And again, it was just speculative talk. Stop letting Phil and his thought processes in flight that have not been thoroughly vetted and thought out. Stop letting him get you excited. That's what Phil's been doing. I got caught up in that shit, man. That's why I bought two fucking dead. Me and Coldblood was laughing, cracking his ass off at me, man. I went and bought two TVs. I've never been a graphics warmonger like the way that the way Phil made me. Yeah, I'm blaming Phil. Just like Phil, if Phil can blame Gen Z, I can blame Phil. I went Best Buy, bought me an HDR TV. Heard one of those RDX boys. It could have been D-Batch. Oh man, yeah, no, you got to get HDR10. When you get HDR10, it's going to blow out your retinas and in your esophagus is going to fall through your ass. And Cold Blood, I was like, oh shit, seriously? You mean like through my ass? Yes, through your ass. So, it's like, oh shit, I gotta take this back. And told Cold Blood how I took that motherfucker back. The poor clerk at the store miscalculated because I got an open box HDR10 Samsung TV. It was just brought back a week ago because the guy got the wrong TV, right? It was in perfect condition. And he was only supposed to take $30 off, but he took $300 off. And before he could realize his mistake, I remember he asked me, he said, you need help with that TV? I said, no. And I carried that TV out, ran, popped the trunk, threw it in the back of it, jumped through the fucking back window and told my wife, drive. She said, what the, and my mother-in-law was in the car. She said, what the hell is going on? I said, just drive. So yeah, Phil had me that summer spend close to $3,000 because back then fucking 4K TVs were not cheap. Had me spending like close to $4,000 on 2 TVs within a 2-month span because I had to have HDR10, right? And look where we're at now. Just a few months later, after all that happened, and I got my Xbox One X, what happens, Cold Blood? I buy a PlayStation 4 Slim, and God of War looks better than anything. Like, that's when it clicked. Like, boing! I spent $4,000 almost on these 2 TVs, another $500 on an Xbox One X, on a freaking PlayStation 4 Slim that I was renting from Aaron's at $20 a week at the time. God of War looked better than anything that was concluded from my $4,500 purchase. That's when I had to wake up. I had to wake up and, like Z said, man, fuck that water. I gotta wake up, man.
How was Phantom Dust with the original?
Oh my God, they're super fucking lucky still. And then look, there was what, Shadow of Mordor, but that's an old game, man.
Zoo Tycoon,
yeah, Zoo Tycoon, like that. That's what it, like pow, pow. And I remember I was playing Call of Duty, and I was like, this is cool, but like this old fucking game for one. And like nobody's gonna sit there and revisit all the Xbox games that they've ignored because they're getting an up-res. They're not getting better graphics, they're getting an up-res. And they can't get better graphics, why? Because there's that CPU bottleneck, and then there's the ESRAM that Microsoft still required developers to think of, and they did that understandably so because it was supposed to be a mid-gen refresh, meaning they wanted the Xbox One game that you bought to be universally playable on every single device, whether you got the original Xbox One Fat, the Xbox One S, or the Xbox One X. They wanted you to be able to play that same game. So all you got was an up-res. There was no graphical boost whatsoever. You just got an up-res machine. You paid $500 for a little bit more resolution. We didn't understand that because we had the propagandists telling us that, you know, the coup de course, all the other shit. And that was my lesson. I learned my lesson. I tried to share my lesson with y'all. You know what I mean? Paul Gaming says ESRAM wasn't the issue. Well, from what I understand, Paul Game, and you correct me where I'm wrong, ESRAM was an issue for developers, and I've heard many developers say this, because even though ESRAM itself, when you compared it per gigabyte, was a lot better than the, what was it, DDR5 that PlayStation was using, it was so expensive at the time that they couldn't put a lot of it in there. So whatever you were getting in efficiencies, it didn't matter, because if you needed more RAM, and Xbox should have known this from the 360. Like when you
please turn off the streamer mode forever.
Oh, hold on 1 second. I gotta find that setting. Yeah, but if you look at the ESRAM, it's more efficient, but it also has limitations in gaming. And that's where they fucked up, because I think the ESRAM went with because of the more TV shit that they were trying to do. So you fast forward to this Xbox One X, which didn't have the eSRAM in it, but when they developed for the Xbox One X, the developers had to develop and still keep the eSRAM bottleneck into consideration. So you really couldn't get a punch out of that console. It's a similar thing that we're kind of experiencing. It's not the RAM, but it's a similar bottleneck that you're experiencing with the lower. It's the RAM. Yeah, it's a RAM issue in the Series S. It's the same. Look, man. I don't know if Phil woke up one day and said, "Oh, fuck Donnie D and fuck everybody before him. Fuck Peter Moore. Fuck Seamus Blackley. Fuck them all. Fuck them. Fuck. I don't know if he woke up one day and just spazzed out and thought that they were all stupid and they felt like that they should move in a totally different direction, because everything that was in the blueprints for success from the 360 era, they totally abandoned when Phil came aboard. Now, granted, the eSRAM thing wasn't a Phil thing. That was a Donnie D thing. But I'm saying all the decisions with the Xbox One X, the Series X, and the Series S, all that shit that they should have learned from when Cliff Belinsky approached them when they were making the 360 and said, you need to add more RAM in this motherfucker. And by them adding more RAM, that gave them the edge. When Cliff Belinsky was with Epic, he went to Xbox and said, I need to put more RAM in this motherfucker. And the rest is history. So, when I understand it, the eSRAM played a vital role in the Xbox One X just being a res box that we didn't fully understand. He said, wasn't the eSRAM on the Xbox One X split? Or wasn't a RAM on the Xbox One X? I'm not sure, Twisted Sin. Said dude age like, yeah, he's going through it, man. He's going through it. I just think he was fucked up, man. You know. But yeah, that's what I gotta say about the whole PC porting thing. Now, let me ask you guys this about the fanboys that are upset. Right? You had plenty of warning. Instead of you heeding your warning, your hatred for PlayStation just dominated and drove you. Your pivots are phony. You will not survive. I don't care if you rebrand, redemand, rehand. Yeah, they call my brother Tim Dog everything but the prodigal child of God. No, not when you were just jumping on Tim Dog's case on Twitter. That shit ain't gonna fly, man. It's not gonna fly. You're phony. Y'all are phony. And the last thing that I want to say, which I've been giving these people a pass. It's really not giving them a pass. I really have diverted from talking to this group because this group is like, you know what? We don't care about this stuff. We consider it fanboy stuff. We like the fact that Microsoft is giving us games. We like the fact that they're on the cloud, on PC. We don't worry about sales numbers because we know that Microsoft has money. They're going to fund this and they're going to see this through, you know. And to a certain extent, I've kind of exempted them from my warnings, from my tornado watch, right, warnings. But here's what I have to say to you. You're not even exempt. Meaning, I don't blame you for what you like. You like what you like. But you have to understand how even the things that you don't like are critical to the success of the things that you do like. Like, for instance, I don't give two shits about Fortnite. I don't give a damn about Call of Duty. But I know if you don't have those games on your platform, you are screwed. You're fucked. So yes, if I'm behind a platform because I like what they're doing, I know how critically important it is for them to get Fortnite and for them to get Call of Duty. 2 games I don't give 2 shits about. Even though you may be a gamer that's all for the value narrative, you have to respect the quality narrative, because even though you appreciate where Xbox wants to go, Xbox is being supported by the people that are there because of where they're supposed to be at. And right now they're at a place where they're supposed to be competing on the AAA genre defining space. That's what got everybody excited. That's why people bought Xbox Series X's. They said themselves that Game Pass and the Series S along with the Series X would make them more competitive, meaning they wanted to compete in this avenue. That's what got that consumer base revved up, because they felt like, opposite of Sony, there would be another game maker that would give them an alternative of quality gaming. And they were patient. They didn't see it at launch. They didn't see it in year 1, didn't see it in year 2. They were patient and now in like year 3, year 4, they're now having to deal with the revelations that that's not what's going to happen. That they're told, as Phil Spencer said himself, a brand pivot. He said this himself. He called it a brand pivot. Let me see if I can find it. Do I still have it? It says, damn, I can't find it. Oh, okay. He says this notion that Xbox can only be this one device that plugs into a television isn't something we see in the Gen Z research. This is from the PolyGon interview. Because nothing else is like that for them. Not some of them will have an iPhone, some of them will have an Android, but all the games and everything is the same. So for Xbox, our brand pivot, as we attract and maintain relevance with a younger audience, is Xbox is a place. Phil Spencer said that. If y'all would have known, let me ask you a question. You ain't got to answer this. No, fuck it. I'm going to put it in the chat, because I know some of you are still lurking. Some of you, No, I don't want to start. I don't want to start no fucking Q&A. I want to do a poll. Had you known about Xbox's brand pivot, would you still have purchased the console? Brand Xbox's, hold on, let me see. Xbox's brand, I just, while we're still here, before we get to begin to, I interrogate Cold Blooded and we start to wrap this up. After I interrogate this mofo,
you better make it fast.
Yeah, that's about to say. Yeah. Brand pivot in advance. So let me ask you guys this. Okay, start the poll. Had you known about Xbox's brand pivot in advance, would you still have purchased the console? Yes or no? Just let us know. Cold Blood, what are your thoughts on him admitting in so many words that them laying off people at Activision wasn't because they had to correct for the market like how Sony had to? That they did this because even though they bought this company, the bigger thing was they had to keep Xbox profitable. What do you think about that?
Doesn't it sound about right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we knew. We absolutely knew.
I mean, it was never about redundancies. It was about, hey, we bought you for fucking 70 billion. and we have to get this money back as soon as possible.
Exactly.
And we can't just pay 10,000 people every single month, right? For shit that doesn't grow.
Yeah,
like Z always says, my shit won't grow.
My shit won't grow. I gotta get Z on here. Well, like that motherfucker. I wish he was up around this time. If that motherfucker was up, I gotta get him. My shit won't grow. Yeah.
I mean, the first thing I said when those layoffs happened, I said that they just wanna, what do you call it? They just wanna pay less now. Pay less, make these fucking projects that they got for cheaper, and put them everywhere. Yep. I said it from the beginning. That's what's going to happen. And look at it. Phil Spencer is saying exactly what I said.
Yep.
Word for word.
Absolutely.
I mean, why would you lie at this point about why the fuck they laid off these people? Like, it makes no sense to lie about it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. The damage
before the deal, absolutely. Oh no, we're not gonna make nobody suffer from this. No.
Yeah,
it's all gonna be great. Yeah, we got the Microsoft money behind us. And after the deal, get the fuck out of my office.
He's throwing his shoes, motherfuckers, like how they threw that shit at Bush.
It was so predictable, yeah.
Yeah, it was. What do you think about these new, like, Post Up and company? What do you think about them now seeing the light? Yeah, y'all said this about my brother Tim. When just last week they were jumping on the Tim need to cool it bandwagon themselves.
See the light?
Oh yeah, Post Up. Let me see if I can find the tweet. Post Up, you know we love you.
Because I got that motherfucker muted. I don't want to see his shit.
Yeah, anymore. I do too. Yeah, I do too. But somebody had made a comment about people, which I thought was odd. Somebody had made a comment about people flip-flopping and knowing who your friends are. And I said, but this sounds like the Xbox community. Oh, here it goes, bro. Here it goes. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it sounds about right. Xbox, I mean, there could be more to it, but it sounds about right. Xbox people determining their friends based upon if they like Xbox too. But the fuck? Post Up, here he goes. Y'all call Tim Dog everything but a child of God, though. They disrespected me because I stood 10 toes down with him. The writing is on the wall. Brand pivot. He also states that console business is not growing and Xbox's brand pivot is going to games on multiple platforms. Him and those pork rinds. I will say every decision we make today and tomorrow is for better of Xbox. But it is fundamental for how we make decisions, Phil Spencer. So now Post Up is trying to make it seem like that he's a Tim Dog advocate since Tim Dog, y'all call Tim Dog everything but a child of God.
Did he ever apologize for capping for this deal?
No, he won't. He won't. Of course not.
Well, I should then shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shut
like, bro, you be on the forefront of this shit. Championing fucking Bobby Kotick and Lulu.
Come on, bro. Lulu, baby.
Just for them to leave right after the deal.
Lulu, I'm running a couple dollars short. Can you send me that meat tenderizer I saw you with on Twitter the other day? Yeah, right, man, get out of here. I saw you had a cake pan rolling pin the other night on TikTok. Want to know if you come over to my birthday party and I can borrow that? Hey, folks, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut up. Don't nobody want to hear that dog shit. You corny as fuck, bro. I love you, but you corny as shit. You gonna get this work. You gonna get this goddamn work. You're corny as hell. You and those other mofos was out there trying to roll Tim Dog into a running volcano. Now it's, y'all call Tim Dog everything but the child. You're corny. Stop the dog shit, bro. Stop it. He said post up his special needs. Said Paul Game. People act like gaming is football and basketball. Exactly. That's the problem. They treat it like a sport. And I gotta defend the Steelers, Doriega. Like if I'm talking to a Cleveland Brown fan and say I'm a Steelers fan, right? You know that's a big rivalry in American football. So of course, if a Cleveland Brown fan is going to come to me and say, Kenny Pickett is trash. Motherfucker can't throw more than 5 yards. I'm like, fuck you. You know, who you got? Baker Mayfield, y'all had him and had to trade him 92 times in order to find a decent quarterback. Look who y'all got. You know what I'm saying? You're going to do that with a sports team. But even when you are a rabid sports fan, like when all the Steeler fans are amongst themselves, they talking, they like, yeah, that Kenny Pickett, hey, bro, y'all gonna have to do something about him because he's trash. Even rabid sports fans do that. So I respect rabid sports fans, Doriega, more so than I respect Xbox fans, because even they will criticize. They just won't criticize with other sports fans. They'll criticize amongst themselves. The doctrine of being an Xbox fan, quote unquote, aka fanboy, is you must never criticize Philemus Maximus Donimus. You must never say nothing bad about him. You must never say anything bad about Xbox. The only time it's legit okay to criticize Xbox and when it's abundantly clear that Xbox made a mistake and they said something that can be used against them on Twitter. That's the only time it's excusable. Oh man, Phil, why you say that? That's going to be used against us on Twitter. But you're never supposed to criticize. You only criticize how they handle information that's being served on Twitter. You never criticize them for the things that they're doing in gaming. That's why I said the fan base is more about hating on PlayStation than they are on making sure that Xbox is the best brand that it could be. Period.
And since when did Post Up stood 10 toes down with Tim Dog? When did that happen?
Bruh.
Because I don't remember that time.
The only thing that
it was always, as soon as someone says something bad about Xbox, Post Up is the first to say, nah, you're wrong. This is what it is. They're like, nah, bruh. You can't be like, no, Tim Dog is right. Nah.
The only thing that Post Up stood 10 toes down in is a pool of banana pudding. That's it.
With grit together, yeah.
What? You can swim in banana pudding at the country fair. I'm there. That's the only thing he's please stop. You just jumped out of the G-Ride when Tim was innocently talking about watching Dune 2, and you assumed, like the other rabid Xbox fanboys, that he was talking about Xbox. So you jumped all on his case. You were liking comments from people who were, they weren't just like having little sidebars with Tim. They were actually trying to defame and clown him. You were liking their tweets. We know this, man. You've been exposed. Stop it, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the APK, the Grubhub APK thug. I'm sorry it didn't work out for you. Lulu will never respond to a tweet of yours again in life. You helped secure her bag. Now she's out there with Elon Musk promoting her new book. Sorry, it didn't work for you, bro.
For the bots. Are we still thinking it's going to be only 4 games?
Oh yeah. We got True Virgil in the house.
Is it going to be still 4 games only, and that's it?
Shout out to Silverback in the chat. Yeah, is it going to be
after Phil Spencer's interview? It sounds everything is going.
Hey, Paul. Kid Smooth. I mean, he's tried some barbs here and there. Kid Smooth, he ran out of Dodge, bro. I even got to give Kid Smooth more credit than I give Post Up and some of these other fools. Kid Smooth
he's
trying to
console warring. He's still console warring.
Oh, okay.
Now he is saying that Rise of Ronin at 1080p not holding 60 FPS is bad while still capping for Starfield at 30.
Look, there goes your favorite game, Redfall. Speaking of not holding, yeah.
Fuck this game.
Fuck that water. Yeah, there.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's some people that's.
I got another question. Got another question for you, Mars. Why is console gaming dying? Why is everyone saying that?
Because it's the Xbox fanboy saying that. Because they got to make an excuse for all the capping that they've done. See, when you degrade it to, it wasn't Xbox's fault. They were trying to innovate, or they're trying to innovate amidst a dying thing. Then that excuses the misinformation. Like, look, I believe in cloud gaming. Don't get me wrong. I believe that cloud gaming definitely is going to be a steward in the future. That's in the future. Not right now. Continue to invest, continue to grow, and work on getting it to that point. And you still got to work. It's not inevitable. You got to work and get it to that point. You know what I'm saying? But like, to sit there and say that hardware is going to die with gaming, no. Or it's in danger anytime soon, no. We don't know what things are going to look like in 10, 15. We don't know what technology is going to be out there in 10 or 15 years. Who knows? Fucking VR could take over. We could all be walking around with Apple type headsets or some new iteration of Google Glass or some shit. Who knows? But there's nothing that says in the immediate future that console or dedicated device gaming is in trouble. There's nothing saying it.
Can you destroy True Virgil's comment, please?
What did he say? He said, you guys judge Redfall before playing it. He said, I can't see it. It says, you guys judge Redfall before playing it. You were always going to think it's bad. True Virgil. Why do I have to play it when the CEO, the motherfucker that introduced it, went on TV, went on the record and apologized for the game? Tell me, Virgil, I want you, if you can do this for me, then I'll concede your point. Tell me one game head who's ever apologized for one of their first party games. I'll wait. In my 35 years of gaming, I've never seen a Doug Bowser, a Sean Layton, a Yoshi. I've never seen them, a Peter Moore, ever apologize the way that Phil apologized for a game. When you can give me that scenario, then we'll talk about your point. Did you have any thoughts on that, Cold Blood? On True Virgil's attempt? His attempt and fail? Wah, wah, wah.
We got the receipts, but we played that dog shit.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, he's saying no, but that we said what we said before we played it. The CEO came out.
Yeah, but then we played it and it was even worse than I expected.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's a huge L.
Yeah.
Remember that one fucking enemy that was stuck on the fucking roof?
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. That game, like, I've played Peppa Pig, mind you. I've played Peppa Pig. I fucking played Paw Patrol. This is all on air. I had a better time playing Paw Patrol and Peppa Pig than I did Redfall. Hey, True Virgil, if you don't get tested, make sure you ain't got rabies with that shit. Make sure you ain't losing your mind. Some wild raccoon ain't bite you in the back of your in the fat of your neck. You better go get it checked out, brother. It's all on record.
It was a game of the year last year.
Virgil's cutting up, bro. Man, shit. Virgil's cutting up. I played Peppa, bruh. Y'all can hear me when I'm playing Red. I'm yawning. I'm like, oh shit. Like it was bad experience on bad experience because my mind is telling me this is supposed to be a AAA game. So there's like part of me that gets into gear into really doing some kick-ass gaming, and I can't because the game is dog shit. I know what to expect from Peppa Pig. I know what to expect from Paw Patrol. So that, and I don't, get that worked up for those games. You said you have a mind? Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a mind, Virgil, because I think yours is being eradicated by rabies juice. Yeah, you had a rabbit raccoon bite you in the thicket of your neck. Bite you in the fat back of your neck, as Post Up would say. Fuck that water. Shit is trash. Sorry, Virgil. We love you, bro. Don't forget about this poll, y'all. Vote on that poll. Had you known about Xbox's brand pivot in advance, would you still have purchased the console? Right now, 69% said, hell no, fuck that water. 31% said yes. They still would have bought it. Keep voting, let us know. He said, I thought the ponies took your brain.
I wish the ones that voted yes could also give us an answer why.
Yeah, I wish there could, that you could detail why. Because I like getting my head beat with a cash register. Now, there's some people, Cold Blood, that don't give a fuck about, they really, and I know plenty of them, they really don't care about any other games outside of Game Pass. Like Game Pass is totally awesome. It's all they need. It's all they need. They fucking love Game Pass. Okay, fine. So the revelation of what Chris String talked about at GDC, that was the news yesterday, that revelation means nothing to them. Okay, so third parties don't come to Xbox. Okay, then I'll just play the ones that come to Game Pass. That's who that 31% is.
Well, if that is all it is, okay, I go ahead.
Yeah, knock yourselves out. I'm not mad at you.
And True Virgil, you say you will always buy an Xbox, but that might have been your last Xbox.
This motherfucker talking about I want the Epic Game Store. I want Stadia Plus on.
Isn't it funny they want Epic Game Store for the PlayStation games? Because Sony's gonna allow that, right?
he wants Stadia Pro. We wouldn't hire Phil Harrison. We pulled his ass back out of the UK. We hired Phil Harrison. We want Stadia Pro on there. Like, god damn. Luna Plus. We want everything on there. I don't know, bro. And again, people have. I'm not mad that people have different tastes. I just, for those that like Game Pass and didn't care about the brand pivot, I even caution to y'all, if you make purchases outside of Game Pass, like a Dragon's Dogma or something like that, you're running a high risk now that you're going to start seeing those games less and less and less. And I said this before. I said this when Will Sinks was here. I said, I imagine that in the future, you'll see an Xbox that will have Game Pass on it, that will have free-to-play games on it, and that's it. And that might be fine enough for everybody. Because again, you're still going to get Fortnite, Roblox, Apex Legends. You know, like I could see Xbox really making a heavy push to get those games because of the massive amounts of DLC that they'll get because of them. But outside of that, all those other third-party games are at risk. Now, I think it's, and then they might make some partnerships with some developers here and there. Like I truly believe that there is a partnership. I know that Everybody Hates Japan had put this out there and everybody ridicules him or whatever. But when you look at what happens, what you're seeing with Sega games right now, I don't think it's too far a stretch of the imagination that maybe Xbox did strike a deal with Sega to where like every single game that they come out with from this period of time must be on Xbox as well. Here goes a check. Here goes a fat check. Like, we can't buy y'all, but we're gonna, you know, we're going to ensure that these games come here too. Which is sad. It's sad to me because you got to write a check for a multi-plat to come on your platform, but you're not willing to write checks to make those essential second party deals, those type of second party deals that made your platform what it was. Like you already had the blueprint. You had the blueprint and you gave it up. And now you're mad at PlayStation for just, you know, picking up that portion of your blueprint and doing it better. Like everything that made you unique under Phil Spencer, you've completely abandoned. PlayStation looked at what you did, kept on doing what made them unique, and adopted the things that made you good and did it better. Look, Western developed games. That is what Xbox brought to the market and made powerful. And Sony just started making them better. Technology, the online infrastructure, the controller. We just talked about it, the live streaming to YouTube and shit like that. That was an Xbox thing. PlayStation's doing it better. And last but certainly not least, this is the kick in the fucking teeth. Y'all were known for games as a service. Outside of Sea of Thieves, that was a big hit on PC for a certain amount of time and it's seen nominal success since its launch period or since that initial year. You have not made a game that has taken over the games as a service landscape. Fucking Sony beats you at that. Helldivers is bigger and better than any fucking game you've created in the last 2 generations. And it's a AA game. Everything that made you unique, that made you stand out, that made you competitive, you've abandoned, and Sony just picked it up, absorbed it, and they're doing it better. Y'all want to call me a flip-flopper? No, the writing is on the wall. Again, the thing that made me go crazy ape shit over Xbox, the Western developed games and, the expansive worlds or the expansive gameplay, Sony looked and picked that up and said, we can do that. Give us a couple years, we'll do it, and we'll do it better. Then drops God of War 2018, the rest is fucking history. Oh, well, I like me included. I was on my homie Jay Wag's podcast years ago arguing this shit. Well, I like the online infrastructure of Xbox. It's untouched. It's untouched. And the controller, it's untouched. It's untouched. Oh, give us a few more years. Our online infrastructure is going to be better. And we're going to come up with a better feeling controller. Now, I'll give Xbox credit about the latency in their controller. But the DualSense, man, that's the creme de la creme of game controllers. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? They did that. Oh, well, you know what? Xbox is the home of expansive worlds and games as a service titles. Like, PlayStation can't make a games as a service title to save their ass. Shh. Guess what? In comes Helldivers 2. If those are the things that tantalize me on Xbox and Xbox is not doing it anymore and PlayStation is now starting to do it, why would I have an Xbox? I mean, I do have Game Pass. I see, a value of having Game Pass in my portfolio. But outside of that, yeah. And there you have it. There you fucking have it. So, all right, let's see these final comments and I'm going to get out of here. I'm not saying you didn't play it. You hate it before playing it. You came into the game with hate in your heart. Virgil, I'm going to tell you why that doesn't hold any weight here. You know a game that I was very skeptical of? Very skeptical of. You know what the fuck I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say. What game was I skeptical of? God of War 2018. I said, man, this is the same old third person over the shoulder shit. Horrible gameplay. It's going to have bad AI. I'm going to beat this in a week. I'm going to pull the stunt. I'm going to rent a PlayStation, beat this motherfucker in 5 days and show you why you don't need a PlayStation. You don't need to own a PlayStation in order to enjoy their games for a hot second. And end up having the ultimate egg on my face. So, true Virgil, even if I go into a game skeptical because of prior practices or how it looks or whatever, it's ultimately up to the game to change my mind. And trust me, I was way more skeptical of God of War than I was Redfall. Like, there was hate. You talk about hate in my heart. There was hate in my heart for PlayStation. Hate. Paul Game said Paw Patrol was more polished than Red Balls.
He ain't lying.
Bruh. 3 games. Paw Patrol. Peppa Pig. Redfall. Redfall's at the bottom.
Homestars.
The phone. It's not. Well, come on. That's not even fair. That's not even fair. Even though Foam Star, again, I think it's the PlayStation tax, right? When the game isn't, those AAA genre defining or badassery type games like a Helldiver. You know what I'm saying? What is Sony doing making something like this or backing something like this? Yeah, Xbox was the home of the shooter games. Yeah. But then they were the home of, like, you got the best place to play Fallout, quote unquote. And, Mass Effect and BioShock, the expansive worlds and the games as a service, that's what Xbox 360 was known for. And as soon as they abandoned that, like they abandoned that at first when they were trying to do Connect 2.0, but they could have very easily pivoted back to it. But they completely abandoned it when Phil Spencer came on board. He says Foam Stars Game of the Year edition. He said must have felt good. Yeah, it did to like play the game and be like, holy shit. I was like, I was still in my Xbox trance, but I was like, oh, Santa Monica just happens to be a good studio. Then I played Last of Us 2. Then I got a taste of Ghost of Tsushima. And I didn't buy it, but I played it somewhere. And I was like, whoa. What the fuck is happening at PlayStation? And they just took their time to perfect what used to be known as great things to look forward to on Xbox. They just took it from Xbox and perfected it and baked it into their own dish that they've already had, their own uniqueness. They made it part of their own. And they completely eradicated the reason for me having an Xbox. I don't, there's no need for me to have an Xbox. I can't argue anymore. Oh, well, it's because of the controller. I can't argue anymore because, it's because of the network infrastructure. None of that stuff, man. I just play multiplats. I can't argue anymore. Well, even though Xbox may not have any good exclusives, neither does PlayStation. They're overhyped. I can't argue none of that anymore. The PlayStation exclusives are great, but even if they weren't great, the online infrastructure is fantastic. The fucking controller is great. All my friends, my real friends that play games are now on PlayStation. They fucking left Xbox. Some of them may have an Xbox still, but they just have it because they have it. They always have everything. So, Quantum Error or Redfall? I haven't played Quantum Error, but I would say that Quantum Error, like Redfall, is the worst game, the worst AAA game that I've ever played, and I don't even think Quantum Error even tried. You can't even compare that. Yeah, one's a AA. Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, how much was Quantum Error? AA.
It's a single A, bro.
Yeah,
it's a single A game
that happened to be running on.
That is just exclusive to PlayStation because Xbox sucks ass. That's what they said.
Quantum Error.
And what the fuck? Redfall was a $70 game at launch. Brother, yeah. What are you comparing here?
Yeah, Quantum Error, I think was $50 at launch. And like, yeah, Cold Blood said, it was made by what? Like 3 developers or some shit like that?
Yeah.
Like a serious indie studio. They just happen to use Unreal Engine 5. Okay. Any of us can get a license for Unreal Engine 5 and use it. Fucking Redfall was introduced by the head of gaming himself, Phil Spencer, and they charged you $70 for it, and he had to go on TV and apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'll be here. Someone else might have my job. Yeah, but even at that, even though the comparison isn't on par or isn't balanced, I probably still would pick one. I still would probably pick Quantum Error. I haven't even played that dog shit. I'd probably still pick Quantum Error. It's the only good game Xbox had and ain't made. Well, yeah, I did like Quantum Break. I did like it. I thought it was a good game. I think Xbox messed it up though in trying to do this episodic shit, so the gameplay really didn't mesh and really wasn't even there all like that. Like you had like little slices of gameplay here and there and all the cinema. But I think if Remedy was given an opportunity to make an action game instead of this TV shit, they could. Quantum Error could have been a good action game. It was cool. Where's the hype for Hellblade 2? Again, you don't see it because, I'm not saying Hellblade 2 won't be a good game for its demographic, but again, it's a $50, it's Hellblade 1.5. Like them being absorbed by Xbox was supposed to be bigger and better. And so it's like, and that's why we talk about when companies get, consumed. What is the point? What is the point of you getting consumed if all you're going to do is this shit? What is the point? If you're going to just do the same thing they were doing before, you're not really going to increase. Like, even if Redfall was in trouble with the war chest of Microsoft, you would have thought that something could have been salvaged. I bet you if PlayStation was there, something they would have been able to do something better than that dog shit. So it then beckons the point. What is the point of them buying Bethesda? What was the point of them having Starfield under their helm? They did nothing to boost that game and make it something, a significant entry into the gaming history catalogs. Y'all were not playing that game. Nobody's talking about, like fuck it. Let's do it right now. Fuck it. Fuck it. We're doing it live. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We're doing it live.
What?
I'm going to the Microsoft store and I'm pulling up the most played games. We're doing it live. Fuck it. Okay.
Better not be Fortnite at number one.
Yep, that's what it is. God damn, you called it. Fortnite is number one. Let's see here. Fucking Destiny is higher than Halo Infinite multiplayer. Okay, Starfield. Oh, I'm shocked. I'm shocked it even made the top 50. I'm gonna be honest with you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 32nd. Starfield is 32 out of 50 of the most played games on Xbox. Like, motherfuckers are playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla more than they're playing Starfield. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Fucking Dead Rising 2 is being played more than Starfield. Dead Rising 2 came out months. Dead Rising 2, bruh, is higher on the list than fucking Starfield.
You mean Dead Island, right? Not
What'd you say?
You mean Dead Island?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, my bad. Yeah, Dead Island 2. Yeah, Dead Island. I was about to
say, what the fuck is it? It's a PS3 era game doing this.
Oh yeah. That would. Oh yeah, that would have really been. Dead Island 2. Come on, man. We need to stop this shit. All right. With that said, we're going to wrap this up. We want to thank y'all very much for checking us out. Definitely check out the videos on this channel, right? Like, I'm going to drop some videos I'm pretty sure that a lot of y'all haven't seen yet. Definitely check out our content. Let's see here. You're gonna want to check out our video from yesterday. Yesterday's Xbox developer pullback video. We did a cool video on what Christopher Dring had to say about Xbox. Definitely check that out. Let's see what else we got here. We got the Dragon Dogma. I mean, we don't just bash Xbox all day. We went a whole week where we really weren't even talking about Xbox. I feel like I've disappointed Geek to Sneak. Sorry, Geek. Geek was like, "Oh man, y'all, you finally ain't dogging Xbox." And here, 24 hours later, I'm doing the exact opposite. Dragon Dogma 2 video. Check this. Just some great content out here. Check it out. The reason why I'm doing this is because I know YouTube is not letting y'all know when this shit is live, and this is what you're going to want to do right now while we're here. Do this, please. Do me. Number one, hit the like button. We got 17 people watching. Can you do me a favor? If you're watching, even if you're lurking and you're hating, just hit the like button. Hit the like button. Even if I'm your favorite creator that you love to hate, hit the like button. I'm giving you something to watch. Secondly, what I want y'all to do is next to the subscribe button, please hit all and not personalized, because here's what happens. The reason why most of you guys are here, and me and Cold Blood was just talking about this before we went live. The reason why most of y'all are here is because, thank you for hitting out. Come on, we get some more likes. The reason why y'all are here is because YouTube told most of y'all that we were going live when they normally wouldn't. Now, why would they do that? Even though you have personalized? Because under the personalized section, they look at the time that you normally watch our content and say, well, if this isn't airing at the time that so-and-so normally watches this content, then we're not going to notify them about it. Like, that's how goofy this fucking algorithm is. So do not leave it up to the algorithm. Hit the subscribe button so you know when we're going live regardless. And if you don't want to watch it at the time, at least you know that the content is out there and you can watch the VOD later. But we got so much shit out there that I know I could just tell by the impression rate and some of the other statistics that a lot of you that are here right now, you don't even know what's out there because YouTube isn't telling you. And always, here, join our Discord too, because in our Discord, if I'm not posting shit and rules in our Discord, you know, you'll always get notified when we're doing shit. So join our Discord. All right. But make sure you're aware, please, if you're watching this, do yourself a huge favor. Hit that bell next to the subscribe button. Hit that drop down thing, that drop down arrow, and change it from personalized to all. And if we go live, you'll just know, okay, I can't watch that right now. Or, oh, this is a quick hit video. Like yesterday, we did a 10-minute or 15-minute quick hit video. Some of y'all could have watched it. Y'all probably, YouTube probably said, oh, no, they don't want to watch this right now. They make the decisions for you. It's goofy. What did Casey say? Casey said PlayStation is trash. You know what, Casey? I was telling Cold Blood, and then we got to go. I was telling Cold Blood about this situation that I had yesterday. One of the people that we hired, young guy, great guy too. He was, he creates content, and he's actually interested in joining up. I don't know if he's ready, because I'm like, dude, we're raunchy as fuck, and I can just tell by talking to him. He's a straight narrow kid. You know what I'm saying? He probably does Hail Marys every 5 feet that he steps and shit like that. I was like, you ain't ready for this shit, right? But
who wants to join us?
No, the guy I was telling you about, that's the Xbox. Like he not necessarily join us, but be part of the Discord and see how we do stuff so they can get some ideas. And I'm like, dude, I don't, like, yeah, we're a raunchy bunch. You're kind of mild mannered, and I don't think you've probably ever heard a swear word in your life and shit. Like, no, you ain't ready for this shit. But he was an Xbox He's an Xbox fanboy, but he stays on Twitch. He doesn't really frequent YouTube. And he was showing me yesterday where all these Twitch streamers, these pro Xbox Twitch streamers, are making up lies like Xbox is outselling PlayStation and PlayStation doesn't have any games. Like Xbox gamers, as far as exclusives are concerned, aren't just sitting there waiting for something and they're not begging for Helldivers 2. You know what I mean? Like, there's all this shit that, like, even there's Twitch streamers out there telling people, oh, you can't play Rainbow Six Siege on the PlayStation 5. Like, it's all this crazy shit that's being said out there. And I'm like, man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, bro, you can't listen to the propaganda. This is my challenge that I give to y'all, and we're gonna get out of here. What opened my eyes to PlayStation is I stopped. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I probably wouldn't. Now, eventually, I would have played the game, but it would have taken me a lot longer, like how it's taken a lot of y'all. I would have just gone off of my experience before, and then me being in my Xbox 360 glory days. You know what I'm saying? I would have still been in that mind state and still would have been brainwashed into believing that the PlayStation is trash, right? Had it not been for me trying to do a stunt, I rented a PlayStation and rented God of War. So I rented God of War. I got it from GameFly. I got God of War because I was already part of GameFly. So I got God of War from GameFly. I got a PlayStation from Aaron's that I was only paying $20 a week on. So my theory was, all right, I got my copy of God of War, but I'm already subscribed to GameFly. For $20, I'm going to be God of War in 3 days and return this PlayStation. And see, that's what you do with a PlayStation game, because you only need a PlayStation for 2 days. That was the stunt I was going to pull. And I end up having that PlayStation for 3 months. I was wasting so much money. I said, I might as well buy a PlayStation 4 Pro. I said all that to say this. You ain't got to believe me. Fuck it. Don't believe me. Try it for yourself. Do what I did, but don't do it do what I did. Go rent you a PlayStation. Like, if PlayStation games are one and done, then what's the harm? Go rent you a PlayStation for a week, that may be like $30, $40. Go rent you a PlayStation for a week. Go rent you a PlayStation game. And play a game. Play a game or two. Play it. Just play them. You will be converted to. I guarantee it. I fucking guarantee it. That's how it worked for me. And I got out of my fog. And that's why I said to True Virgil, I had the utmost nefarious motives when I got God of War. Oh, I was going to trash it so bad. Look at it. This combat is oh man. I just knew it. I knew it. And played it, and it was like fucking amazed. Doriega said they're scared to convert. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm telling y'all, y'all ain't gotta believe me. This could just be entertainment for y'all. Go rent a PlayStation. You can go to a rent-a-center if you're in the state. There's places all over the globe where you can rent electronics. Go rent one for a week, for a couple of days, because PlayStation games are one and done. Go ahead and rent one, man. Go get you a PlayStation exclusive. Go get Horizon Forbidden West. Go get God of War Ragnarok. Go get Last of Us 2. Go get it. Play that motherfucker. And tell me if you don't want to keep that son of a bitch. Tell me. I triple dare you. But y'all afraid. Y'all afraid. And I would have been afraid too, because I was spilling all that rhetoric about Xbox is the best box and all that other shit. And I only did it because I just knew I was going to clown God of War. I knew it was going to be a shit show, and I was going to embarrass PlayStation gamers in my mind. Let's give it a try. Trust me, you'll be surprised. All right, I'm out of here. Thank y'all for checking me out. Yeah, again, please make sure that y'all hit that down arrow next to subscribe and y'all switch it to all, because YouTube is fucking up. But that's what YouTube is good for. All right, with that said, we out of here. We will see y'all Friday. I think Cold Blood is going to have a stream tomorrow, but we will see y'all Friday for NRO Podcast. It's going to be a great one. Until next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.